Good. So I hope everyone is there with the Excel file that I have circulated. On the same file, we are going to work few more functions today. And before that, I would like to again tell you that if you are there between comfortable situation, become and come out of that comfort zone and try to be in the uncomfortable zone. थोड़ा सा बैठ जाइए. If you are still lying over the bed, if you are still lying over a bed, थोड़ा सा खड़े हो जाइए, बैठ जाइए. जितना uncomfortable रहेंगे उतना अच्छा है. Okay, so we had solved the question of future value of the single transaction, and we have also seen the formula of it, that how we can use the manual formula in the pen paper question. Let's move ahead with few more examples. uh, Before I move to the annuity, I would like to add one more example here. You may also write it, that Miss Shreya wants to invest 10 lakhs with 12 percentage return expectation for 5 years, compounded on a continuous basis. What will be the FV after 5 years? Okay, so one very simple question I'm adding over here. The only difference which I'm making here is the compounding is on the continuous basis. Now I would like to know it from you, that what do you understand by the compounding on continuous basis? Earlier we had used the word compounding on annual basis. Now we are using the word compounding on a continuous basis. Do you feel there is a difference between continuous and the yearly compounding? May I have the answers from the students, please? Anyone would like to say what's this compounding? Continuous compounding? Anyone? Try to guess it. That's fine. Okay. It's okay to make a mistake. No one? What can be the potential difference? Try to guess it. No, then also it's fine. Again, a very good morning to all the students here. थोड़ा सा जग जाओ, अभी तक सोए हुए लग रहे हैं सब. Okay, Miss Vaishali is saying that on a daily basis. Okay, anyone else would have the different opinion? You're quite near to the answer, but still not the right answer. What's the continuous compounding? How you can call any compounding a continuous? The interest included, that's in compounding. Interest is included, interest is reinvested again in your previous value. That's the part of compounding that is applicable to everything. Anyone else? Okay. When I say it is continuously compounded, that means there has to be some time period first of all. Now what can be the time period? Say if I tell you that I'm investing for 5 years and compounding will take place on annual basis, then what will happen? Say I'm just giving you the example, 10% is the expected rate of return. So what do you use the formula here? PV multiplied by 1 plus R raised to N. Now PV, whatever the PV would be, 1 plus R would be 0.10 yearly and N would be 5 when it is annual in nature. When it is semi-annual in nature, you put 1 plus R raised to N. So 1 plus R will be divided by 2. So 0.10 needs to be divided by 2 because in a year, we have got 2 semi-annual periods. So 0.05 will be there and N would be 4. So basically this 2 is the compounding frequency in a year. So you need to multiply N with the compounding frequency. So it becomes 2 multiplied by, it becomes, 5 is there. No, 5 multiplied by 2. So it becomes 10, sorry. So raised to 10. So 5 multiplied 2 raised to 10 will be there. And here 0.05 will be there. So N must be multiplied with the compounding frequency and rate must be divided by the compounding frequency. It is the case of semi-annual. Let's go to the quarter. 1 plus R again. So 1 plus R means 0.10 needs to be divided by 4 because there are 4 quarters in a year. So it will come 0.025 and raised to N is 5 that needs to be multiplied by with the compounding frequency on a yearly basis, which is 4. Why 4? Because in a year we have 4 quarters. So 1.025 raised to 20 will take place. Similarly, if it would be monthly, then rate will be divided by 12 and N would be multiplied by 12 in the power. If it would be daily, then rate would be divided by 365 if we assume that there would be 365 days in a year and N would be multiplied by 365. But what is the meaning of compounding on a continuous basis? When I say continuous, that means it's going on and on. Now, when I say it's going on and on, it is not stopping only. It is a never-ending exercise. Then how many number of periods there would be? Number of periods would be infinite. Let's say that what is the smaller time horizon than a day? The smaller time horizon than a day would be R. R. Now, if you divide this rate by the number of hours you have in a year, and then you multiply N with the number of hours, then also, my dear friends, an R is not something which is a continuous in nature because an R is also comprising of some number of minutes. If you make the compounding on a per minute basis, then minute also contains some smaller time horizons like seconds. If you divide the rate by seconds and if you multiply the N by seconds, which would be huge obviously number, then also the seconds can further be divided into the smaller time horizons. Now all those time horizons that we have framed, my dear friends, and they are not continuous in nature. There is a break happening. That's why, how can you make the microseconds calculation? Even in the microseconds, you may take the part of it. So how you'll be able to find the N? So N would be infinite. Infinite. Now if N would be infinite, it is happening on a continuous basis. Number of periods are not measurable. Yes, we want the money after 10 years, understood, but we are not able to find the parts of the 10 years, Earlier, when it was said quarterly to us, we could find the parts of 10 years in terms of quarters. Rate was divided by the number of quarters in a year, and in the power, the year was multiplied by the number of quarters in a year. But what about the continuous compounding, which is the eternal question here? Now, my dear friends, when the continuous compounding takes place, which is never ending in nature, only thing that we know now is that we want the money after 10 years, nothing else. Compounding is taking place on a very, very continuous basis. Continuous basis means there is no time horizon only. There is no time period only at which the compounding frequency will apply. The only thing that is clear to us is that we want money after 10 years. So that's why when the compounding frequency is ever increasing in nature, it is exponentially increasing. If you take the compounding frequency as 1, then you may say it can be 4, then you may say it can be 12, you may say it can be 26, you may say it can be 56 or any other number. It can go infinite, and that is also increasing continuously like this, exponentially. Now this is the number of periods which are increasing exponentially. I may also call it the compounding frequency. You take it to number of hours, then you take it to number of minutes, it will be increased further. Then you take it to number of seconds, which can increase further. Then you take number of microseconds, again it will be increased further. So number of periods are exponential in nature. Now here in this case, the formula of the future value becomes PV multiplied by e raised to RT. Now some people would be like, what is this E? E stands for the exponential function. Something you have in a power, number of periods are exponentially increasing. That's why we are using the exponential function. I hope that's pretty much clear to everyone now. Now, what is the value of E? The exponential function value is 2.718. That has been derived mathematically, just like we have derived the value of pi, 22 by 7, 3.14. Similarly, after applying some calculations, we have derived this value of 2.718. How we have derived this 2.718? Let's see that calculation as well. So if you say, and if you take the factorial, no? So n factorial if you take plus 1 divided by n factorial. Now some people would be like, what is this factorial? Factorial mane ke you are multiplying each and every number which are below one particular number. So say for example, if I say 1 factorial, that means 1 will be multiplied by 1, so you have 1. If I say 2 factorial, that means 2 will be multiplied by 1, so you have 2. If I say 3 factorial, that means 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, so you have 6. So it is continuously ever increasing in nature, right? Ever increasing, no? Now, whatever will be there in the exponential function's power, that will be the rate of change. That we'll see later on. But it is increasing exponentially. So the exponential function can be found by using this formula. So you may have the 1 factorial first plus 1 divided by n factorial. Because the time horizons will be further be divided into various parts, and that will happen for n number of times, which are infinite in nature. So first you get the answer 1 divided by n factorial. So again n, we are starting with the 1. Now n means infinite, it will move on and on. So 1 divided by 2 factorial then, plus 1 divided by 3 factorial, plus 1 divided by 4 factorial, plus 1 divided by 5 factorial, plus 1 divided by 6 factorial, and it will go on and on and on and on in the infinite manner. So here comes the rule of limit which gets applied of the differentiation. I'm not going much into the differentiation and derivatives right now, but this is how it is derived. So first you will have the 1, then 1 divided by, again, 1 factorial is 1 only. So plus 1. So you have got 2. Then 1 divided by 2 factorial. So 2 multiplied by 1. So that means 1 divided by 2. Now in the denomination, the amount is increasing on a continuous basis, though, so that the fraction will be continuously smaller and smaller. There would be 0.05 added, then there would be 0.00002 would be added, then it would be 0.0000012 would be added, because denominator is continuously increasing. So obviously, if you have the denominator which is continuously increasing and numerator as 1, the value will constantly and continuously reduce. So ultimately, if you do it for infinite number of periods, then my dear friends, you reach to the value of 2.718, which is approximate value. I hope that's clear to everyone now. So here the rule of infinity gets applied, and that's why we have taken the formula of PV multiplied by E as the exponential base raised to RT. R stands for the rate of return and T stands for the number of years. Absolutely clear? Confirmation from the students, please. Till now? I'm sorry. Don't worry, it's not a corona. And even if it is corona, it cannot be transmitted through the online session. लोग छींक खाते तो लोग भाग जाते हैं. कहाँ पे गई हमारी मानवता? Okay, till now everyone is clear? Whatever I said? Confirmation, please.
Excuse me, Professor. Would you mind explaining again how you do the calculation for the continuous?
How did I get?
How you calculate the continuous, the e raised to power. I didn't get that bit.
Now see. You will be multiplying the compounding factor with the present value, right? First of all. Now compounding factor can generally be found like 1 plus r raised to n. Now here in this case, n is infinite because number of periods are continuously ever increasing. What is the meaning of continuous? First of all, it can go on and on till the unlimited period of time, till the infinite. So that's why it is increasing exponentially in this graph. And whenever the exponential increase takes place, at that point of time, if you want to find the compounding factor, my dear friends, you use e raised to rt. E as the base. E is the exponential function for which we have derived the value, which is 2.718. That becomes your new compounding factor. And rt stands for the rate of return and t stands for the time will be the number of years. So that becomes my new compounding factor. So new compounding factor will be multiplied with the PV. So you get FV. Is it clear? The value of E I have just said to all of you. A confirmation from the students, please. Haven't received it from any yet.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Good. Mr. Gaurav is saying yes. Miss Veronica is also convinced.
Sir, also one thing.
Yes.
We have covered only two formula, right? That is a single cash flow. FV is equal to PV 1 plus R raised to N. And the second one is this FV is equal to PV into exponential raised to RT.
Right. See, I have prepared already the formula chart. So by God's grace, that got suddenly struck in my mind when I was doing it for the last year, for the students. I had written all the formulas on the board actually, and I had taken a picture of it. So I will be sending this formula picture to all of you, whatever the number of formulas will be having. So I have the picture of it. You will have to just zoom it up further to look at it properly. Including the annuities, continuous compounding, you may check it. Say here we have the continuous compounding. Everything has been covered properly here. This is the continuous compounding formula. I'm marking it there. Okay, PV. These are the two formulas we have done till now. Let's move ahead. Board पूरा एकदम कचाकच भर गया था. People were like, oh my god, they were scared. This many formulas will have to do. I said yes, you will have to do this many formulas. आपको क्या लगता है कि हर कोई कर लेगा ये? मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी भाई. But it's comparatively very simple in the Excel. So you people are saved, you know. Okay, let's take one more example where. Yes, Vaishali.
So if compound it is if rate of interest is compounded monthly, so we'll divide r by 12 and we'll multiply n with 12, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was just doubt.
Let's take such kind of example, no? Now let's take the example of Miss Vaishali. You will be adding here. Vaishali, which car you like the most?
So you can pick any one.
Okay, Miss Vaishali wants to buy a Mercedes car. Some people will like spelling of Mercedes is wrong, but I don't know about the spelling, you know, and I'm not a communication faculty. Yes, okay, S is there instead of C. Okay, wants to buy a Mercedes car after 8 years. And she expects, for that she is investing something now. She will invest 10 lakhs rupees for 10 years, compounded on a monthly basis at say 15% rate. So what is the meaning of compounded on a monthly basis? That means on each and every month the interest is credited to her fund, and for the next month you get the interest on the amount you had earlier plus the interest credited. So interest is reinvested again on a monthly basis. That's why it is a compounding on a monthly basis. So on each and every month the interest is credited in the account, and for the next period you get the interest on the increased amount. Now my dear friends, if you are doing it manually, then the formula would be PV multiplied by 1 plus R raised to N. So PV will be how much? How much he is investing right now? 10 lakhs. So let me just write 10 lakhs there, multiplied by, you may write it over there in your book, 1 plus R. R needs to be divided by the number of months in a year. How many total number of months we have in a year, sir? 12. So R needs to be divided by 12, and in the power n must be multiplied by 12. So 0.15 divided by 12, and in the power you would have how many total number of years? 8 multiplied by 12. So 8 multiplied by 12 would be the power. Now if you solve it manually, then also you get the same answer, but here in this case the Excel will be able to give you the answer very quickly because you won't have to do the algebraic calculations. So therefore 10 lakhs equal, no, not therefore, it will be equal to sign only. 10 lakhs multiplied by, what do you get if you divide 0.15 by 12? May I have the answer from the students, please?
1.015.
1. Okay. Now see, that is, you are dividing 0.15, huh? not 1.5, not 15. You are dividing 0.15. Yes, you are giving me the final answer after reading the 1. Okay, fine, fine. 1 point, how much? 0?
10125.
1 to 5. Good. And in the power raised to 12 multiplied by 8. 72 bar 84. 12 8 96. Some people will be like, what you are saying? Beta, we are Gujarati medium students, so we do like the calculation like this only. So now some people say, if we are doing manually, then how can we do it? Oh my God, we are stuck. No, dear, no, dear, you are not stuck. The layman people would be stuck. You are not layman. You people are aware about the calculations. See, 10 lakhs. Now something is there in a power. That means you will have to, divide it further. I mean, you will have to make it in a parts. So you can also write it like whatever is there in the power. No, if you are multiplying the base, then it gets added. That is a very simple mathematical rule. So if you have something which is a great in power, no, then find, my dear friends, you find it 1.0125 raised to 10. Then you multiply it 1.0125 raised to 10. Now that you will be doing for how many number of times? This is 1 time. This is 2nd time. That you will do it for 9 number of times. And each and every amount you will be just multiplying. So you will have to find 1.0125 raised to 10 only for the 1 time in your calculator. If you are doing it for 9 times, that means 90 is done, because whatever is there in a power is added. So how many more number of times are pending to be done? We have in the power total 96, right? So again 1.0215 raised to 6 will be there. Once it will be done for the 9 times. So you do it only for the 1 time, then whatever the value you have got, just put it over here, multiply that value for 9 times, and then you get the answer of 1.025 raised to 6. Now some people are using the PV and FV tables. Oh my God, I was pretty much stuck that how can you use the PV and FV tables at the PG level? You must be able to calculate these things. And I'm sure that my students will be able to calculate these things. PV और FV टेबल तो हम एक्सेल में यू बना देंगे, हमें वो टेबल की क्या जरूरत है, हम टेबल बनाते हैं. So whatever the power would be, you apply just simple mathematical rule. In total, you should have 96 covered. When you are, the simple rule which is applicable here, no, that when you are multiplying the base, the power gets added, as simple as that. So total 96 times you will have to do. And so you get the compounding factor manually, and then you multiply it with 10 lakhs, you get some compounding factor, and you multiply that, so you get the future value. Sir, how will be doing in the Excel? Okay, let's move ahead. Here I am solving the question equal to FV. Let me use the magnifier so bachas and bachis gets it in a better way. Equal to FV, opening the bracket. Now rate would be how much? She is expecting 15%. 15% is to be divided by 12, again in the Excel as well, because this is compounded on a monthly basis, comma, number of periods. Can someone tell me what will be the number of periods if you can run your logic?
96.
Very true, 96, comma, PMT shall be 0, because PMT is something which is applicable only to the annuities. PMT means you are making the investment on a gradual basis. In each and every month you want to invest. In each and every year you want to invest. In each and every month you want to invest. So we are not making the investment in installment basis. We are doing the lump sum investment right now, which is a 10 lakhs rupees. So PMT shall be taken as 0, comma, then it comes the PV. You must be able to recall the Desi Jugaad we had done, the minus sign before putting that PV amount. So PV amount is going to be 10 lakhs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do not make mistake in writing the zeros, otherwise you may get the 0, comma. The type you are not supposed to write any, because it is anyway the single transaction. The compounding will take place for the 96 periods only. Closing the bracket. Pressing the enter. So Miss Vaishali would have 32,95,513 rupees after how many number of years? After 10 years, if the compounding is done on a monthly basis. Here in this case, you would have written 12 multiplied by 8 as well. Let Excel calculate it. No, हमारा दिमाग ही क्यों लगाना? Excel बना ही आलसी लोगों के लिए है. तो अगर आपको खुद से कैलकुलेशन नहीं करना है, put 12 multiplied by 8 over there in the Excel formula, then also you get the same answer.
Sir,
Yes, please.
here investment is done for 10 years. So why we multiplied with 12 into 8?
Oh, it's not for, no, it's for 8 years. Okay, okay. Sorry. Now earlier I had taken in the first question 8 years, and then in the second line I had taken the 10 years, you know, so that's why you people were a little bit confused. Good. So it's 8 years only. यहाँ पे 8 ही लिया था, देखो वैशाली.
Yeah, sir, clear.
Okay. Here as well it's 8 years only. लेकिन बाद में पता नहीं क्यों मेरे को 10 लिखने का ये हो गया. Some people will be like, sir खड़े खड़े सो रहे हैं. खड़े खड़े नहीं, बैठे बैठे सो रहे हैं. पहला लेक्चर है तो हमें भी नींद आती है. We are also human being, okay? Okay, let's move ahead. Is it clear now? Confirmation from the students, please, all of you.
Yes,
Till
sir.
now everyone is absolutely clear. Good. Others are not very much reactive today. I don't know why. The numbers comes into the picture. No, people goes into the silent mode. I don't know why. There is a fear of number that I have seen. At least for the business analytics students, you should not have. Numbers are fun. Do not be afraid of it. Okay, shall I move to the annuities part now? So future value of single transaction is over. Now, you know, you can do some more permutation and combination. You may have the one missing variable, and that missing variable you will have to find from that. So let's take and go to the PMT task. And in PMT task, you would be performing this second option, second question. So what is there in the second question? Try to understand. 1 second. No, it is annuity only. Just a second. Okay, let me frame such question for you. Let's go to the PMT. Not in PMT, I guess in the rate. Okay, fine. So let's go into this rate, and we'll be finding the rate of return expectation from this. You know, so we have clear-cut understanding that what we are going to invest, which is the PV. So let me just write one more question. You may write it along with me there. So the amount of investment is say 20 lakhs, and the future value you want is say 50 lakhs. Then my dear fellas and fellies, you will be investing it for number of years are say 10 years. And compounding is semi-annual. So here in this case, you will have to find the rate. Now, if you will be finding the rate manually, no, over there you will have to do some approximation and interpolation formula. But in Excel, you have this function starting with the rate only. which can give you the rate of return expectation. So what you have right now in this case is that you have the limitation that you will be investing only 20 lakhs rupees. You have a clear-cut goal established that after 10 years you require 50 lakhs rupees, and the compounding should take place on semi-annual basis. If you have this things at a place, then what will be the rate of expectations of yours? Now we do such kind of a rate of expectation calculation as well by asking the clients, and that we are doing to know that what rate of expectation that person is having, and accordingly we give them the appropriate investment avenue. Say if the rate of expectation is just 7% of any individual, he would be like, right now I am able to invest this much, and after 10 years I require this much. If the rate of expectations comes around 7%, then I would not force him to go into some of the investment avenues which are risky, because 7% can be received even in the risk-free assets like fixed deposits, government securities. So if the rate of expectation is coming moderate, then I would not suggest that client to move his money into the risky investment avenues. Similarly, if the rate of expectations comes around 15 to 20%, then obviously I need to tell to that client that if you want to satisfy this rate of return, then you will have to take a bit of a risk as well, because this kind of the return can be given only by the equity shares, not by any other investment avenue. I would urge him to go towards the equity shares rather than the other investment avenues. So based on the rate of return expectation, we can suggest the appropriate investment avenue to the client. That is called as the mapping of investment avenue based on the return expectations. So based on someone's return expectations, you are mapping the appropriate and sufficient investment avenue to him or her. So what will happen in this case? You will have to find the rate, and it's very easy. Excel formula starts with the rate only, RATE, open the bracket. The first thing you are supposed to write is the number of periods. Sir, number of periods are going to be 10 multiplied by, can someone tell me 10 multiplied by something? Who can
2.
tell me? Dekhte. Very true, 2, because in a year you have 2 semi-annual periods. The compounding is done on the semi-annual basis, comma. PMT will not be there because it is not something an annuity. It's a one-time investment and one-time withdrawal. So PMT will be 0, comma. Then it comes the PV. So PV would be the amount of investment you are making, 20 lakhs. I'm just writing 20 lakhs as it is, comma. Then it comes the FV, which I want 50 lakhs. I'm writing 50 lakhs over there. Let me just check it that I'm not making the mistake in 0. Oh, sir, I'm making the mistake in 0. It should be 6 only. फिर से खड़े खड़े सो रहे हैं. Then you would have type, and type you do not require. Guess is also something which you do not require. Anything is there in the big bracket, no, that is optional in nature in this Excel formula. So let's keep it as it is. You may close your formula over here only, press enter, and you would get the problem here. Why? Because one of this must be in minus, so I am putting minus sign before the PV, because PV is something which is a cash outflow. If you'll be putting both of them in a positive, then obviously there would be number error like this, because to find the rate, one should be the outflow and one should be the inflow. No, then how Excel will be able to identify that what amount there is a PV? So that's why you will be putting the sign of minus again before the PV, and let's consider that it is an outflow, so that's why we are putting the sign of minus. Again, the Indian Desi Jugaad. Pressing enter, you get some rate of return. Let me just increase the decimals of it, and it's coming just at 4.69%. But my dear friends, this 4.69% you have got is on the semi-annual basis. This is a semi-annual rate. Yes or no? It is a semi-annual rate, no? Because we have multiplied the number of periods by 2. So number of periods are not 10. We have multiplied it by 2. So it's a semi-annual rate you have got. So you will have to multiply again that rate by 2 to get the yearly rate of return. Let me convert that into a percentage. So this fellow's rate of return comes around 9.38%, which is not quite less, not quite big. So here in this case, I would suggest him to go in some of the investment avenues, which can be, the mixed mutual funds, which is the mix of debt and equity. So there would be little bit of the risk as well, and little bit safety as well in terms of the debt instruments. So some of the mixed portfolio or moderate kind of a portfolio I'll be making for him for this 20 lakhs rupees. I'll not tell him to invest entire amount in equity. I will not tell him to invest entire amount in the safe investments. I would do some mixture of it because the rate of expectation is coming moderate, not pretty less, not pretty high, something which is a moderate. Is it clear? And the crux of the problem here was that this was supposed to be multiplied by 2. If you would have found the quarterly rate, then to make it a yearly, you would have multiplied that with 4. If instead of semi-annual, if this was a monthly, then we would have multiplied this 10 by 12. So this rate you have got is monthly in nature. And if it is monthly in nature, then here to make it annual, you will be multiplied that by 12. So you get 9.20. A confirmation, please, from all of you.
Yes, sir.
Good. Miss Veronica is working amazingly well today. Confirmations I am receiving at the bullet train speed. Good to see that. Miss Titli as well said yes. Good to see. Miss Vaishali as well. Again, the chat box is dominated by the one gender today. हमारे वाले किधर है भैया सब? कहाँ पे खो गए? उधर हंसने में, स्माइली देने में आते हैं. फिर confirmation में कहाँ चले जाते हैं? From Shreya as well. Good. Okay, so then it can be, the number of periods as well. So if you want to find the number of periods based on some given situation, then you can use the function called NPER. NPER gives you the number of periods. If the missing variable is the number of periods, so any missing variable can be there. Missing variable can be rate, it can be number of periods, it can be PV, it can be FV, it can be, any of this from this, whatever the options I have given. For NPER as well, you have the formula starting with number of periods, NPER. Start with that and put every other detail which is given to you. You get the number of periods. Good. So that's it from my side. As far as today's session is concerned, it's already 9:42. Let me just complete it off now. As a mark of your attendance, you may put your enrollment number here. If you have any queries or questions right now, you may let me know. Else I'm assuming that you are crystal clear about whatever I have said. Okay, bye-bye. Take care. Sayonara. Enjoy the rest of the day. See you all in the next session.